Sixth grade transition camp at the Atlas Academy. Hello again, everybody. My name is Dale Caffey. I am on the campus of Tennyson Middle School. That is home to the Atlas Academy, a school designed for gifted and talented 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students. And today is transition camp for 6th graders. I'm with Rachel Woods. She's with L-Trek, and she volunteers her company's time and her time to teach these students some leadership skills and all sorts of things. Rachel, thank you so much. Talk a little bit about what you try to do during transition camp here at Atlas.
Sure. The purpose of the transition camp is to really help to reduce some fears that students may have whenever they come to a new school. They're entering a new environment, they have new teachers and friends, new campus, and so many new things that can be overwhelming and that can become a barrier to learning. Obviously, we want them to be in an environment that is conducive to learning and reduce some of that internal noise that we call it. And so what we've done is created a camp that brings in the students to where they can come in and get to know some of their teachers, get to know one another. They do a scavenger hunt around the campus where they can learn about where everything is so that they don't come here and look a little fearful and maybe have an upperclassman pull them aside one day. And so we just help them to build their confidence in many ways. And in addition to that, we're catching them here early at the beginning in 6th grade and really pressing upon them that they are leaders now and in the future. And that as a leader, their actions matter. And there is a connection between their actions and their results as an individual, but also their results as a team or as an organization in a school. And so we're just trying to help them understand their value and that they're important and that they need to be managing moments in life. So we have different skills we've picked out for them to be introduced to here today. And you see one behind you is trust building. And so that's just one of several.
Very good. Rachel, tell me more about L-Trek and the history of that company.
Sure. I founded Leadership Trek, or L-Trek, in 2005. And we're a small business here in Waco. I've been managing and consulting and training leaders for about 10 years now. I do teach at Baylor Business School. I teach leadership and organizational behavior there, but this is my business. And we primarily work with businesses, corporate leaders, but this is the way that we can demonstrate servant leadership in the community and come out and show and contribute to the community in the ways that we know best and make an impact on the city of Waco.
I want to mention that you're here not as contracted labor or some sort of for pay. You're doing this for free and have done so now for 3 years. Why do you do it?
I'm passionate about leadership development. It is my mission as my personal mission, and I believe that we must have strong leadership first and foremost. And I'm trying to help people at all levels, whether it's students at Baylor or corporate leaders or women around the world. Actually, I work with women in over 30 countries now, and they're aspiring to leadership, and so I'm trying to help increase the participation of women in politics and public life. And it starts with young people of all ages to help them understand that their behavior matters and that people are watching and that they can have a great impact on their own lives, but also the world.
Talk about some of the activities. You mentioned the one going on and about to wrap up that was behind us here, and building trust. How does this work?
Sure. Well, this is a fun activity that we created modeled after the relationship between a Sherpa, who lives in the mountains, and mountaineers. And here what we've done is the Sherpa is the person who can see the broader perspective. The mountaineer is blindfolded. The mountaineer is the person who is on the team but is not perhaps the leader in that moment. So I'll come back to the analogy, but first they're going through the obstacles, and the Sherpa is telling the mountaineer specifically what to do. It's important that the leader be very specific about what they say and not just say, hey, go that way, go this way. You have to say specifically, you need to take a step to the right, one step to the right, something like that. Then the mountaineer, there's things he or she has to do as well to be effective and to reach their goal together. That person who is following has to focus and listen to what is being said, and they have to follow instructions and do what they're told. So it takes two. It takes everyone to make up a team, and at any given time, you may be the leader, you may be the follower. And those roles change at all times. So here, they're going through a fun way where they pretend like they're one or the other, but then we come back to the table and we say, in what ways do you lead here at school when you're on projects, when you're in choir or band or sports? And when do you need to follow? When do you need to be listening and focus on what's being said? And we're making them take those lessons back to their day-to-day life here so they can be as successful as they can be.
There's also some activities in the classroom and gymnasium, if you can talk about what you're doing there.
Sure, you bet. We created an activity, a team building activity that they're doing in the gym that's called Final Summit Push, and the kids are pretending like they're at Camp 4 of Mount Everest and they're trying to get to the summit within a certain amount of time before an avalanche comes and so they all destruct. And but basically it's like mini leadership activities or team building activities where there's a formula for performance that you learn, and they learn in the beginning it's a bit chaotic, but then they get organized, they make a plan, they try something, maybe they learn through trial and error, they eventually they understand what they need to do, and then they practice and they hone their process and they get better and better. And the more quickly the team catches it, the more depth we can go in and we can teach them. But the whole point is to plant that seed now, talk to them about what they did in retrospect to have been successful. Then we're going to take that list, that high performance team formula, into the classroom. So they have those little lists on maybe a little paper that's laminated on their desks, or the teachers have those on a wall, so that they can talk about project management, so that when they are put into groups, they can look at that list and remember what it was that they needed to do to be effective. And I don't know about you, but I sure wasn't that kind of information definitely didn't hit me in middle school. So I'm very excited for these kids that they have these kind of opportunities, and it's fun for me to share what I know and try my best to put it into words that they can understand, that's simpler, but that they can do. And they're great. They do it.
Bullying is a problem all over the country, and I understand you also try to address some of that in this camp.
Yes, specifically, I'm running a camp today it's like a station. They rotate through these different stations. Mine is on conflict management. I've been teaching conflict management and negotiation at Baylor since 2006, and my background is as an attorney and a mediator. Is how I started my career. So it's very important to me to help them understand how to resolve conflicts when they have the most control over outcomes before it becomes the teacher's problem or the school's problem, or principals and parents and all of that, and help them to have some ideas for how to do this. So they're doing some role plays. They're acting out some conflicts and talking about how to resolve them. I'm helping them understand their peer mediation program so they know where to go, and they can have some questions answered. We're also talking about courage. We're talking about character building, and that's a different station. And I don't know specifically, one of the teachers took that on, but what I shared with them was about courage is about doing the right thing, no matter how difficult it is or whether you don't feel like it, but it's doing the right thing. And then we have ethical dilemmas where we have various situations that someone might encounter, and we're asking them what they should do, and they're practicing their responses, and depending on what they say, the teachers are helping them understand where they go, like how they report, how do they respond to these different situations, and hopefully we're helping them to consider their behavior in advance of their temptations and helping them make better choices.
Very good. Rachel Woods with L-Trek, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you even more for doing it for free, because you care about these kids and it shows.
They're great. Thank you so much.
Very good. Once again, Rachel Woods with L-Trek at 6th grade transition camp here at the Atlas Academy, where there are learners today, leaders tomorrow.